All right, hello everybody. I'm Dr. Garrett Neal, and I'll be taking you through a little sequence today regarding your core. We're probably going to do it in a non-traditional way, in that we're going to look a little bit more into our wrists, into our ankles, as these give a lot more feedback to our core than like a standard crunch or your standard plank. So we'll kind of go and start things. We'll probably want 2 blocks for our practice today. Usually a blanket works well as a substitution, and also, a bolster can also work really well too. But anyway, we're going to start with a seat. You'll want your 2 blocks together just like this, and you're going to sit on them. Now this, obviously, you can substitute that for blanket or something, or just plain old sit on the floor. That part's just to create a little lift, so that you can like cross your legs, sit tall, and be comfortable. We'll start with an assessment of breathing, so you can plant your hands on your knees, lift your chest and close your eyes, and about 3 or 4 just very simple breaths in and out right now. Now this is an assessment. It's just to see where you're at and where you came and started this practice. We'll see if we can now change it. The very first thing is we want to activate a little bit more of our diaphragmatic breathing. And so take your fingertips and you're going to rub your sternum, and it's probably going to be uncomfortable. Let's start at the manubrium. So right where the neck meets the bone right there. You're going to start with the fingertips and then just start rubbing downward. You'll want to go pretty much the whole way, giving like a decent amount of pressure, but not like too much. And your goal right now, right there. Your goal right now is to find something that's a little bit tender or something that gives you a face like this. Anyway, when you find that tender spot, you're probably going to want to circle it. One direction, 20 seconds, opposite direction, 20 seconds. If you found that spot, continue. If you're having a hard time with that spot, you might need to go a little bit wider, and so your fingertips can go in between your ribs. You can feel that as the space in between each rib. There, and you can even keep going lower. You can rub out multiple spots if you really want to. But anyway, like 20 seconds of something, 20 seconds of the other way. And then we go back into our breathing. Hands on the knees, sternum to the sky, eyes closed. In through the nose, out through your nose. Now my hope is that there's an immediate change. Kind of like a monkey just jumped off your shoulders. And it might feel really easy to breathe right now. And so we can really encapsulate that by one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. Continue with breathing about another minute. Each inhale, bring it down into the belly hand. Each exhale, again, feel it through the belly hand. The chest hand is there if you feel any to monitor or assess any movement. And so try to bring everything into your belly versus your chest. That is the point of this meditation. Now, breathing is a foundation. And when it comes to your core, it is probably one of the most important aspects of looking at it from a modern core standpoint. Your ability to breathe more into your abdominal area creates IAP, or intra-abdominal air pressure, which creates spinal stiffness and rigidity. In yoga, we get a lot of spinal flexibility. And the reality is we want both. You're more than welcome to pause, continue to breathe if you're having a hard time getting that a little lower into your abdomen. When you're ready to start demonstrating some spinal flexibility, you can recross your ankles if things are starting to feel kind of funky. Interlace your fingers. Exhale, seated cat pose. Round your spine, press your knuckles forward, and bring your chin to your chest. Then inhale, seated cow. Bring your chest up. Point your fingers to the ceiling. With your breath, you'll flow. Exhale, cat. And inhale, cow. Option to close your eyes as a way to really tune into some of that more kind of fluid movement. And we're really getting into the upper part of the body. So allow me to twist to the side in case you need a better visual. It's going to be hard for balance. Exhale to round. Inhale to lengthen, mostly through the upper chest right now. Now, as you're moving, it's always nice to bring an element of exploration. And so some examples could be adding some side bends, just kind of tick-tocking side to side at the very top. You can also, in the cat part, kind of twist a little bit side to side. And that'll bring a little bit more stretching into the backs of the shoulders. Maybe giving you an idea which side you twist better too. Another nice option is the hands go back to the knees and you just kind of like roll the sternum around in a circle. I like to call that the whirlpool. You just kind of roll around both directions. Really, anything goes as long as it feels good and gets you feeling good. Continue with that, probably for another 3 or 4 breaths. Make sure you get both sides too. Now let's start working on some wrists. So we'll do this still in a seat, but you can move off your blocks or off your ankles if you need to do it in a different position. We'll go into a wrist car. So take your left arm forward and you'll grab it with your right hand or opposite hand. This hand is a bracelet as a way to monitor if your forearm is spinning. And so we want to keep the bottom or this side up. Avoid looking at the hair on the back of your arm is what I like to say. So it starts with a big breath in. Pack some of that air down. Feel the brace, the IAP. Point your fingers to the floor and then begin to move in a circle towards your pinky finger. Ideally, you can keep the fingers straight, but that makes it really hard. And you'll go up and then out to the thumb, trying to make that circle wide and also comfortable. We'll do one more time, same direction. Work on expanding that circle. Or if your forearm's moving, work on keeping your forearms still. When your fingers meet the floor, we're gonna go opposite direction. So thumb and up, that one's the hard one. Whew. And then pinky finger and circle down. One more time, same direction, forearm stays still, all the way, big circle. Make sure that core is nice and IAP or braced and strong. When you finish that out, shake it out. I always love that difference between both hands. And then switch. Bracelet your forearm, elbows hug in. Inhale. Pack that air down. Continue to breathe and point your fingers to the floor. Now towards the pinky, begin to move and make that nice and wide circle. Maybe the fingers stay straight. Maybe you gotta bend them at first. It's okay. We get better every repetition, right? So thumb and down. Whew. And then pinky finger and around. Each circle wider than the last. Each circle more aware, better than the last. Fingers meet the floor, that means go to your thumb, and I think that's the hardest part. Your forearm will fight you and spin usually. Go to the pinky finger and down. And so remember, avoid pronating, avoid looking at the hair on the back of your arm. All right. By this time, we should be done with both circles, I think. Shake it out, relax. And now let's move the blocks if you're sitting on them. We'll take them to the side, and let's do a little bit of ankles. So for ankles, we're gonna do an ankle car. You'll bend one knee, and then kind of straight bend the other leg. Option 1 is the easy one. You bring both hands to your hamstring and just lift up, kind of like a boat pose. Or you hug it, so you go same arm underneath, grab your opposite bicep, grab the front of your shin, now lift up. So this gives you a nice hugging position. So inhale, sternum up, hey, hence why you touched it, and squeeze. Keep the squeeze in your belly tense, toes to shin. Begin to move to your big toe, so big toe inversion. Point the big toe to the floor, plantar flexion inversion. Now swing it over to the pinky toe, try and point the pinky toe, and then flex up. Like a box, so big toe, point, tension in the arms. Pinky toe, whoo, flex. Now opposite direction, point the pinky, point the big toe, flex. Pinky, point, big toe, flex. That concludes that. You can release your arms. If you want to feel the difference, shake out your legs a little bit. That usually makes a big one. Now opposite leg bends. Either hug your leg or grab it. So same arm underneath your knee, opposite bicep, front of the shin. Lift up, Take a deep breath in, squeeze and pack that air down, pull your toes to your shin. Now we move to the big toe and point. The intent, we're only moving our ankle right now, hence why we're locking it in. And you can feel if your shin is rotating a little bit with this hand that's there. I think we have one more, I lost count. Back to the pinky toe and up, and now reverse that. So point the pinky, point the big toe, and flex the big toe. Let's go again. Pinky, point, whew, big toe, flex. I think that's it, relax. If you need a quick forward fold, bend your knees and fold forward. You can grab your toes or your mat, whatever works. It might feel nice to stay more dynamic though, so kind of shifting side to side in the shoulders, maybe windshield wipering the legs, maybe even gas pedaling the feet a little bit. Now we'll go into some strength and core work, kind of returning everything center now that we've taken some of the tension perhaps out of the wrist and the ankles. We'll want both of our blocks for this one, or a towel or a blanket for the head at least. We'll lay down, blocks accessible, and you can go ahead and you can even put this block under your head right now to make it even better. We want to take the tension out of the neck. A lot of times when we do core exercises, if our head's in a weird spot, our neck absorbs most of the core, not our actual abdominal area. So once you accomplish that, hug your knees, and let's do just a little rocking side to side. Allow your back to kind of acclimate, massaging it into the floor, sides of the hips, sides of the shoulders, all the good stuff that just comes from laying on the ground. Now, we're going to go into a dead bug, and it is a coordination exercise. It's for your brain, it's for your body. Let's lift both the arms and the legs up. Rule number one, your back is flat on the floor. Hip flexion kind of allows the lumbar spine to flatten comfortably. So put a bend in your knees, palms are relaxed, kind of like you're carrying a baseball or something soft in your hands. We'll start with just the parts. Inhale, reach your right hand back behind you, go as far as it's comfortable. Exhale, return back to the ceiling. Inhale, reach your opposite hand back behind you. Exhale, return to the ceiling. So everything else stays still. Inhale, right knee forward. So keep the bend in your knee, only go as forward as what your back allows. Don't let your back curve up just to get low. Keep your back flat, okay? Then lift back up. Opposite leg, reach forward through your knee, little bend in the knee, nice and easy. Oh, it's still kind of hard. Exhale, lift. Now here, speaking of hard, let's have some fun. Inhale, right arm, left leg. So we move away from the midline, hold for a moment, and notice you have a hand and a foot in the sky. That's rule number two. Bring your hand and foot back up, exhale. Inhale, switch. So opposite parts move away from the midline. Same parts, or the other parts stay in the sky. Exhale, lift. Breath to movement. Inhale, switch. Exhale, lift. Now keep going, really kind of going at your own pace right now. And if this is foreign to you, this might just be uber confusing. So let's go through our rules again. Rule number one, back is always on the floor unless it hurts, right? Rule number two, there is always a hand and a foot nice and still in the sky. And then rule number three, we reach away from the midline. So we're never going to the midline, right? We're going away from the body. Whew. Now, by now, you should be getting kind of tired, like bellies are active, right? Cores are great connectors. And so it's not crunching or planking that really gets them to work like they're designed. It's moving in a way that the limbs are working with the spine versus just I think that's about it, by the way. Hug your knees in and rock it out. Now, another aspect of core that we want to establish is we want inner and outer thighs to kind of synchronize, because really we're starting to look into how the feet play into the core, and that'll really help out with standing poses. So the first thing is to bring the left leg down to the floor and lift your right leg to the sky. Now, hands are going to monitor. So you take your hands right to your ASIS, or this frontal kind of jutty part of your pelvis that's like above your hip right there. So hands there to help monitor. Let's all take a deep breath in.
Push your left side into the ground. So heel and hip, glute especially, pushes into the ground. Very slowly begin to open your right leg out to the side. Now we're not looking to trail it. I want to keep my left side down. So keep the left butt on the floor. Only go as far as that right leg lets you. So you'll really start to notice that's what the hands are for. Our pelvis is pointed up right now. And we should be feeling this like inner thigh on the lifted leg, outer hip on the bottom leg. And that's the stabilizer. 3, 2, 1, switch. Bring your leg up, right leg down. Lift your left foot up. Inhale to anchor. Push the right side down. Engage to your glute. And then exhale, open up to the side a little bit. Go slow so you can feel that moment when your hip lifts up. That's when you go, ooh, I went too far. Bring it down and freeze there. Now inner thigh left, outer hip, maybe a little inner thigh on the right. Remember to breathe. We're trying to synchronize these muscles into our spinal integrity, and breathing makes that key. 3, 2, 1, back up and release. Whew. Hey, let's do a second round. Why not, right? Lift your right leg high. Inhale, push to the left side. Exhale, open up. Maybe you can get a centimeter or two further. Then you hold, breathe into your belly like we did in the beginning. Toes to shin. We'll tension the chain a little bit more too if you want to add a little bit of dorsiflexion to really get your calf muscles in the mix too. Whoo, 3, 2, 1. Back to center and down. One more time. Left leg up. Anchor through the right leg and open wide. Now go as far as you can without the pelvis changing, and then hold. Toes to shin both legs, adds a little more flavor. And then breathing into your abdomen really keeps it home. Stay strong. Ooh, I'm starting to shake. 3, 2, 1, back down. Oh, wow, that was fun. Let's take our knees back in for a quick break. And this one might feel good to widen the knees, continue to rock a little side to side. Now the very last thing is we want to kind of create a little bit of capsular stimulation for the hips. Internal rotation is one of the best ways to do that. So let's lay on our side now. This block that was under your head goes great above your ears so that your head is once again not kinked up or down and you're not like just looking around or anything. So rest your head on something. And then second block will go between your knees. Now preferably between the knees, but if you gotta go thighs, you gotta go thighs. Now we want our knees to not be completely pointed forward, but also not be completely pointed back. So somewhere like 45 degrees in that mix, kind of like you're pointing it to the corner of your mat would maybe be a good reference. Anchor your top hand into the floor and squeeze your block. Inhale, internally rotate, lift your foot to the ceiling. Now pause for a moment. Look down at your knees. Your knees should be stacked right now. A lot of people tend to rotate down to get their foot to look higher, right? Ooh, and if you're holding, you should be feeling it right TFL, like crampiness right in the side of the hip. Exhale, lower down. We'll just do 3 more. Inhale, squeeze, lift and rotate. Feel the thigh turn. Exhale, lower. Try and get higher. Inhale, lift, keep that squeeze. Outer hip. Exhale, lower. Whew. Last one's the fun one. Inhale, lift it up and hold. Put a little more squeeze. Maybe toes to shin. Maybe push more through the hands. 3, 2, 1. Whoo, lower it down. Now both legs, I like to call this the mermaid tail. So squeeze the block and squeeze your feet together. Really anchor the top hand to help. Inhale, both feet up. The top pelvis will rotate in. You might feel a little core, but it's the bottom inner thigh that should be receiving more of the feeling right now. Exhale, feet back down to the floor. Just 3 more. Inhale, squeeze, lift up. Whew. Exhale, lower. Keep the hands strong. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And let's go. Highest one yet, hold. So keep that squeeze. Keep the feet lifted. Fight for height, belly to legs right now. Bottom inner thigh. 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Release this block, put it behind you. And let's do a quick bout of side plank. You can take this head block, move it over, boost up onto your bottom elbow. And real quick, you can make a fist or your palm. We want our elbow under our shoulder. We'll then reach the feet forward, stagger the feet so that the top foot, big toe, is next to the bottom leg, heel. Top hand to hip, or if you need a little help, right in front of you. Push down through your elbow and fill up your armpit. Now pause for a moment. 3, 2, 1. Lift off by pushing more through your elbow. Side plank. Keep the elbow firm, push your feet into the floor, and feel that lift coming from your pelvis. You can even reach the top hand, but we want to stay very firm right now, stimulating all this side core area. Now obviously, you can do this. Keep holding, by the way, if you're there. You can do this on your knees. Side bridge, you lift up from the knees, and you come a little more forward, and you're getting that same benefit to the side of your pelvis and core. I think that's long enough. Lower your hips back down. Whew. And let's do that on the other side. So typically you just kind of roll over, make it easy. I'm just going to keep it so I can face the camera. So I'm going to flip over. Put the block back between your knees. Put the other block back under your head. Bottom arm long, top hand planted. Squeeze the block. Inhale, lift the foot up. Now take a look again at your knees. Make sure they're above each, or one's above the other. Oh my goodness, like right here, right? Exhale, lower. TFLs, they hate every kind of movement. Inhale, lift. That's what we get for sitting all the time and being a functional opposite of the glutes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. All that movement from the thigh, lift and hold. So in that fourth round, you hold, lifting up to the foot, toes to shin maybe. Keep that squeeze in your block. 3, 2, 1, back down. Make your tail, squeeze your feet and your knees, hand anchor. Inhale, lift the feet up. That top hip comes forward a little bit, that's okay. But we want to feel that again, bottom inner thigh, maybe right up into the butt cheek too. Exhale, lower. Couple more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Last one, get it as high as you can. Now more tension. Squeeze the knees, squeeze the feet, press the hands. Stay firm. 4, 3, 2, 1, back down. Get rid of that block between you. You can do whatever you want with that now. Boost up onto your elbow. Stagger the feet. So we have our bottom leg forward, top leg in front, or top leg behind rather. Elbow under the shoulder. Check your elbow, or check your shoulder before you wreck your shoulder, right? Fist or palm, I like a fist. Top hand to the hip. Fill up your armpit, so push the ground away. Take a deep breath in again. Then lift up, side plank. So now we hold, lifting from the pelvis, maybe reaching to the top hand. I like to say that your pelvis is a bridge right now over a very cold river. And so if your butt drops down, it's going to get wet, soggy, and all sorts of cold. So keep your hips up. Feel it all from those abdominal muscles under the abdominal, or that lower abdominal wall. This is hard to talk into. Lower back down. Whew. Remember, you could have done side bridge instead, so please don't force yourself into anything. If you need a quick moment, you can lay on your back, grab your knees, do some more things like this. Otherwise, we're coming up and we're going to conclude with a boat pose. Boat pose is going to be different. I like to say that this is not your mom's boat, because we want hip flexors, as that kind of helps out with all the diaphragmatic breathing and work that we've been doing too. I'm going to stay this way so you can see me a little better. You'll plant your heels on the floor, and if you want to cushion yourself, you can obviously sit on something, by the way. The first option, also the intent, by the way, is to stay upright in the sternum, hence why we touched it, but to lift a leg without changing this. Because a lot of us, we do both and we turn into a troll, right? So chest up, leg high. Okay? So option 1, hands behind your back, point your fingers just like you're hanging out at the beach. Option 2 for the first round, you're going to give yourself a hug. Find your option. I'm going to do the easy one right now. Take a deep breath in, lift your chest up, and then float one of your legs up. Pull the knee to the armpit. Feel the belly engage. Keep your sternum lifted. Feel that right in your hip crease. Hello, hip flexor. 3, 2, 1. Lower. Keep the spine stiff. Lift your knee up. Knee to armpit again. Keep breathing. Keep lifting. Don't slump over. 3, 2,
1, relax. Round 2. So, if you're like, hey Garrett, this was easy, give yourself a hug. If you're like, hey Garrett, this was easy, reach your arms forward, okay? Again, chest stays still. Look forward, pull your heart between your hands if you're with me. Lift one leg, hold, toes to shin, chest forward. Breathe abdominally. 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant. Only the opposite leg moves. Lift, hold, chest through the hands. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Maybe a quick windshield wiper. Okay. Last round, you know we gotta lift both legs, right? Obviously, one leg at a time is perfect, but if you want to do both legs, you might need to lean a little further back, because what happens is we go 1, 2, and then you go like that. So from here, I'm going to turn around a second, hence what I'm showing you. You're going to lean back a lot so that this engages, and 1, both, hold. Okay, let's do it together. So wide feet, none of this. Arms up, hug, back. You're doing 2 rounds, pick your flavor. Lift, take a deep breath in, pack that air down, lift one leg, then the other leg. Whew. Now the intent, again, your chest stays up, your belly is strong, your hip flexors are synchronizing in because you're breathing. And we hold, breathe, 3, 2, 1, relax. Round 2, maybe make it harder. Arms up or hug. Inhale. Now if you lifted your arms, lean back a little bit so you're good to go in the next part. 3, 2, 1. Lift one leg, both legs. Whoo, spine stays up. Keep your chest through your hands. Oh, keep looking up too. That tends to help. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Almost done. So for those of you that want an extra challenge, let's do a butterfly boat, right? So feet together, knees wide. Same concept. Only the legs lift, your chest stays still. So lean back into it. Lift one foot, both feet. Oh my God, hello inner thighs. So keep those knees open and wide, lifting through the big toes. Whew, and if this is on fire, you're doing it right. Keep your chest up through your hands. 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Stretch your feet forward and again, kind of either a resting forward fold or a dynamic forward fold. This is your body, your choice. All right. Last but not least, let's get some spinal flexibility in. So you've been doing a lot of spinal stiffness, and that's really helpful for picking things up, moving about. But we also want to have ease in the way that we move. We want that dualistic spine. So tabletop, cat-cow is a great way to go. And with all the stuff, tailbone movement's going to be great. So inhale, tailbone up, cow pose. Chest down and forward. Exhale, cat, curl the tailbone to your knees. Let that roll up the spine, chin to chest. A couple more like that. Inhale, cow, exhale, cat. Now, as you did before, you can continue with these, or you can add in some explorations, maybe like side bending, maybe twisting the legs out for a little bit more rotating stuff. Oh, we've got a lot of the pieces to our core, but we haven't really put them all together yet. So kind of the biggest pose here is called crouching tiger. If you want to, you can widen your hands and even point your fingers outwards or diagonally versus straight forward. Tuck your toes. Inhale, hover your knees. Now breathe and hold here, and you should feel your core like right away, right? Now, ideally, our shoulders and our hips are in one line. This is tabletop alignment. Instead of being like downward dog, but also instead of being like cat pose, okay? Or even cow pose. So keep that spine nice and long. Imagine your head butting the front of the room. Woo, 3, 2, 1, back down. If your hands need a break, come to your knees, shake them out. Okay, this is the money round. In this round, we're gonna try and lift a foot, but everything else stays the same, okay? Fingers where they go. Tuck the toes, inhale, press the ground away. Use your fingertips as part of the foundation. Float the right foot, but kickstand, so heel to butt, knees in line. 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant, everything stays still, left leg, keep the knee bent.
Kickstand the foot. 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant. Now, downward dog. Whew. Or you certainly earned a child's pose. Whew. Or maybe you're like, okay, I need some water. I need some water. But you made it. So that was really kind of the first part to now doing a bunch of like standing work, because we've kind of improved and influenced the way that we connect to the ground. Again, to recap, we worked on the ankles as a way to just get them to move better, which now will signal to your core how to react and what to do when you're balancing or doing standing postures. And we also removed some tension from the wrist, because sometimes we clench when our core isn't quite behaving well. And on top of all that, we got nice sternal cueing and we got good breathing happening. So your balance hopefully is going to be superb. Hope that you enjoyed. Thanks for practicing with me today.